Welcome to today's dialogue. I'm Ed with Free Circle. I want to talk a little bit about building communication skills, understanding, life building, skill building, and patience with it all. The ever changing world is bringing so much change at a rapid pace. And either you change with it or you get stuck in the past in an analog age in a digital future. Understanding all of this new technology and putting it all together, being efficient and effective at communicating your desires over a new digital realm. It's interesting to rebuild your life skills and understand you have to have a lot of patience to do this, because when you're dealing with the internet and people on the internet, you're really never aware of the intent of others, or if they're meaning to do you harm, or you just have to be very careful when you're in the digital realm nowadays. A lot of brilliant minds are doing hard work to secure the environments, and it's it's needed. There's a lot of misuse in the digital world, and it's a realm where if you are not on top of it, you're not understanding it, and it's changing so rapidly. The growth of computer and IT, and I just remember Windows 98 coming out and trying to get my friends and family involved in getting on Windows 98, and now we're up to, what is it, Windows 10, and this application setting is totally different from when I was really active in computer. So understanding it, realizing that you have to focus on rebuilding your skill sets. And in the analog world, we pretty much basically communicated with the telephone or in person. A lot of us wrote letters, but I was not one of those that wrote a lot of letters. I like to use my hands for fixing things and doing physical things. I was active, physical. And having the patience to transfer when you're at an older age is a skill set in itself. So along this transition, I'm finding that I'm building new skill sets, understanding simple things like these pound signs, or they call them hashtags. On the telephone, they were called pound signs. So it's ever changing. There's an evolving market. There's a new world coming in. Robots are taking over people. And if you don't climb on to understanding and grasping the concepts involved in this digital age, you're going to be left behind. It's critical, and it's hard to change. I know that for certain. I'm proof of it. But you cannot resist change. You have to let go and let God. He guides you through patience, and you have to do your homework. I never was one for homework, but you have to do your homework. Being able to communicate effectively is key. Answering people, making sure that your prompt is, you can be on returning communications is a key focus. It's always been that way, but now it's in a new way. And instead of picking up a phone, I have to force myself to learn email, structuring email in ways that people can understand me the first time, not having to reiterate what I'm talking about. So that's a skill that I'm working on, and I'm trying hard to understand that's a vital key in this age. And you have to understand how to use all of these different tools. The calendar, you know, there's a digital calendar. You got to learn how to input so it gives you reminders. And there's a lot of little tools out there to simplify your learning process. It's just you got to find them. And I'm compiling little pieces here and there so I can structure them into my shows and help not only the troubled youth, but the aging senior understand what's going on. So I'm learning myself in this transition, this changing world. And you got to find joy. You got to find happiness in it, because if you get stuck in that old mentality of what's wrong with the way it is, you're not going to understand what the new generation is wanting in the world. And we have to work with each other so we can complement each other and help each other in finding these new ways of communication, the skills involved in these new communications. It's critical to bridge the gap between old and young. And that's kind of one of my tasks, is helping be that bridge, because a lot of older people get stuck in their ways and their mentality, and they're unopen in learning by a younger individual. That's not a good place to be. You're stagnant. You need a young mind that's fresh, and they've got a new outlook, and they're doing remarkable things. Get behind as many of them as possible. Learning how to connect and contact with each other. That's been a critical one that I'm learning right now. How to reach out, how to get your point across effectively, so people understand what your goal is, how you want it to transpire in your life, and what you want to set as your brand is what I'm learning. That's what I'm trying to build, is a brand. And I was trying to use it as a logo, and I did not understand these differences. They're unique, and I'm learning a lot by the folks here on Dialogue that broadcast out these business-based the intellect that's coming out of Dialogue is amazing. And not only men, but there's a lot of bright women that are out there doing remarkable things. And just by the little time that I've been using Dialogue, just those bright individuals that are sharing their knowledge and their techniques, and it's given me a renewed hope, a new life, and a new vigor. I can look at life with a little optimism now again. So it's a great way to build communication and, get your dialogue across at the same time. These are one of those tools that I'm talking about. The Dialogue platform is kind of unique because it's really simple and there's not a lot of visual distraction. It's straight to the point. They're adding these nice new features. Dialogue's the place to be, people. If you want to have interactive, easy listening, learning, Dialogue's the place to be. Hey, thanks for joining me today on my Dialogue. Ed, Free Circle, out.